Hi, my name is Lane Richard, and I will be going over my presentation called The Stress is My Strength. I'll be talking about how changing the way we think about stress by cognitive reappraisal can help us perform better under pressure. The main idea is that stress doesn't have to be harmful, it can actually make us sharper and stronger if we interpret it the right way. My first slide is stress and why it matters. College life is super stressful for most all college students. In fact, more than 80% of those students say they feel overwhelmed by things like classes, money, and time. Stress can cause sleep issues, anxiety, and burnout, which hurt our learning and focus. But stress itself isn't really the enemy. The key is how we see it. If we can reframe stress as our body getting ready to face a challenge, we can use that energy to do better instead of freezing up. My next slide is my first part of the research analysis, which is the study design. Their study, The Mind Over Matter, looked at how rethinking stress affects both the body and the mind. And for this, they recruited 50 participants with ages between 21 and 22 and divided them into three groups. One group was told to see stress as helpful, one was told to ignore it, and one was given no instructions. They all did the stressful tasks, which was a 5-minute speech and mental math challenge, while being judged by evaluators. Next slide is the second part of my research analysis, which is the results. And the reappraisal group, which is those who saw stress as helpful, showed what's called a challenge response, which means their hearts pumped blood more efficiently, their blood vessels stayed open, and this both shows readiness instead of a panic. They also focused better on a color word test and made fewer mistakes. So we can see that just by changing the way we think about stress, our bodies and minds can perform better. And the amount of stress wasn't reduced, it was just redirected into something useful. The next slide will be the first part of my personal experience, which is my stressful moment. And I saw this in my own life during a big group presentation last semester in my yoga class for my final. I was nervous, my hands were sweating, and my heart was racing. And I thought those feelings meant I was losing control because I was seeing stress and panic, which made me rush through my slides. I forgot a couple parts, and it didn't do as good as I should have. So I was letting stress work against me instead of for me. The next slide will be personal experience part 2, which is turning stress into strength. After reading this research, I decided to reframe that response. Now when my heart beats faster and my palms get sweaty, I remind myself that it means my body is getting ready to perform. I take a deep breath and tell myself the adrenaline is going to help me focus. That mindset change turns my fear into energy and helps me sound and react better. Over time, it made me calmer, more focused, and more resilient under pressure. And my last slide is my call to action and takeaway. Stress isn't something we can eliminate, but we can reappraise it. When we see stress as a sign that our body is energizing us and making us ready, it becomes a source of strength. Whether it's for a test, an interview, or a big presentation, we just need to remember that stress doesn't mean we're failing. It means we care, and our body is trying to help us succeed. So we gotta take our stress and turn it into strength and let that mindset work for us. Thank you for watching.